On what the clause relates to. The question is, well, no, at the moment it's separate. But if you want to move to, it's clauses. Sorry, question is that clauses 1 to 3 stand part. A point of order, Jamie Lee Ross.
Mr. Chair, I move that the clauses be taken in one debate. Do I seek leave?
Yes,
for that?
well, they are in fact. My apology, because yeah. So we don't need to put that leave. So the question is, the clauses 1 to 3 stand part. Dr. David Clark.
Mr. Chair, it's a privilege to speak before my colleague Dr. Megan Woods, and I do look forward to what she will say in the debate shortly as a Canterburyan and someone who has spoken passionately about this issue before alongside her colleague and mine, Ruth Dyson, from whom I expect we'll also hear. This is a debate that needs to be had in this Parliament because it is one that affects all of the people of Canterbury as their democracy has been taken away from them. The debate around title and commencement lends itself to some suggestions about, of course, making sure that democracy is restored sooner, but more specifically that the title of the bill is made more appropriate and tighter to what is actually happening in the bill. Because we see, as we've canvassed in the earlier debate, that rights of appeal are disappearing. So it might be more appropriate to talk about the Environment Canterbury Rights of Appeal Removal Amendment Bill. That would somehow seem to reflect more nearly what is going on here. Or the Environment Canterbury Failure to Restore Proper Democracy Bill, Amendment Bill. These are the kinds of things that are happening in this bill that are hidden behind the title that seems somewhat more positive, perhaps, to those at home who would hear the simple title as expressed on the order paper: the Environment Canterbury brackets Temporary Commissioners and Improved Water Management closed brackets Amendment Bill. Something is being suggested here which is neutral, when in fact the bill has some unfortunate side effects, if we can be so kind as to call them side effects. Mr. Goldsmith across the House was interjecting in the debate, and I must say I look forward also to his contribution, because we have had very few from the government side of the House in this debate. There has been a remarkable silence, and one wonders why that is when we have a bill that is doing so much harm in the view of the majority of Canterburyans. Why it is that the government will not get up and justify this bill and perhaps explain why they are choosing to put it through in this way with this kind of generous sounding title when there are mischiefs being done to the people of Canterbury. And my colleague Andrew Williams there says it can't be defended. That's perhaps why we've heard so little from the national benches. But I challenge Mr. Goldsmith across the House to make a decent contribution, one that does attempt to defend this bill, because somebody's got to stand up and defend it. We haven't heard anything from the Minister and the Chair for some time. He's been very quiet, and perhaps he's a little embarrassed. He's had the bill dumped on him. Maybe it should be changed to the Environment Canterbury Minister has the bill dumped on him Amendment Bill, which would also perhaps reflect something of the dynamic we're seeing in this Parliament. We're certainly not hearing from the government as to why this bill should proceed. And I think the general public are owed an explanation, but more particularly those people in Canterbury whose democratic rights have not been restored, despite promises in that direction, very clear promises by Nick Smith previously. So, Mr. Chair, I suggest that the House do consider those other options that would make clear the real agenda in this bill, so that we are not left with this misleading title which would suggest that the bill is more harmless than it really is. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman. A call, Andrew Williams.